Hello everybody. I am going to make a quick video of a review slash experience of my seeing the Jamie Lloyd Romeo and Juliet in London with Tom Holland. As you might be able to tell from my speech, I'm an American. I live in America. I was born in America. I enjoy my living in America, but this happened in England, so I had to travel. This was my first time leaving the country. Blah, blah, blah. I'll just tell you what was important for this story. Walking from our hotel to the theater, I believe it was the Duke of York Theater, me and my sister were almost late. Our aunt came with us as well, but she was not seeing the show. We almost did not make it to the theater in time, and I read online that the theater wasn't going to let you in if you were not on time. So I was getting a little worried, and I wanted to take pictures outside of the theater while it was still light outside. I didn't get to do that because we were almost late. So we make it there I think the show started at 7:30. We probably got there like probably 7:28 or so. And I'm thinking like the show's about to start. We go there and I'm pretty sure they're already starting to like put away like the rope. Like nobody's coming in. Like everybody's inside already because everybody else got there on time. And there's like these two guys there and I'm like, "Hi, is this where you come in?" And I'm clearly really stressed out. And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, I don't know what I said, but they were like, "Oh, we have to check your bags." I just handed them I just completely handed them my bag. And they looked in my bag, they told me I was good. And then I showed them my tickets. And then, because I had one for my sister and I both. And then we went in. So we went in like the outside doors, but then there was this woman past the first set of doors that like stopped us, and she was talking to some other guy, and she was like, "What were you blah 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 saying about their ticket?" I have no idea what was going on. And then she was like, "Oh, if you could just wait here for a moment, I have to go check something with your ticket." And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, okay, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking, are they trying to say maybe I have a fake ticket? Because I know I paid money for it, but maybe if I was scammed or whatever, right? And my aunt, as I said, wasn't seeing the show, but she saw that they didn't let us completely inside yet, and she's like, "Is everything okay? Like, you know, what's going on?" And I'm like, "They told us to wait here." So I'm waiting. Remember that I'm sure it's 7:30 by now. The show's supposed to start, but I'm thinking, they're not gonna, start the show while I'm right there, right? And while I'm there, one other person comes into the theater. They made it just in time. And then the woman comes back, and she's like, "Can I ask how old you are?" And I was like, 19. And she was like, "Oh, okay. I just had to make sure that you were 16 because otherwise you wouldn't be allowed in the theater, and you look quite young." Lady, what? Okay, now when you're like at a bar or whatever, I mean, not that I have been there, but I hear, they card you and stuff for alcohol. Sure, fine. She didn't even ask me for ID to prove my age. So I'm thinking, how big of a deal is it if you didn't ask for ID, and then you just let me in on my word? And then why did you have to go walk away and do whatever before asking me how old you were? You could have just straight up said, "How old are you?" And I would have told you, and I wouldn't have had, like, that didn't make sense to me. And from this trip, other circumstances I won't include in this video because it's not relevant to the Romeo and Juliet show, but I just learned that I'm not perceived as an adult, which maybe that's something visual in my face, but also I am 4'11". I think that is part of it. But anyway, then they let us in. We get to our seats, whatever. And I know this is not like Broadway, but I know like there you get like the playbill, but no one gave me a book. But I'm looking around and I feel like I see other people with the books, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I look over at my sister, I'm like, "Are we supposed to have a book?" And I'm like, "Can you go get us a book?" So she goes and talks to somebody, and then she gets a book, and then she got one for me too, and then we sat down, whatever. Now let me talk about the show. You might say it was what's the word I'm looking for? It was like new and experimental. Maybe that's the word you want to use. In my opinion, some of it was silly. And I've heard that it has been perceived differently by Americans and British people. But, so first of all, as my sister likes to point out a lot, there's like no, they're not winning any awards on costuming. Okay, Tom Holland had on like a hoodie, which later he took off to become like a tank top. And like everyone, like there's no like special costuming, like they're wearing normal clothes, which that might be an artistic statement to go along with the vision of the director, but that's just something I thought I'd point out. Everything was so serious. They had like fog going on the entire time. And you know, in the beginning of Romeo and Juliet, when Romeo is all like sad, thinking about Rosalind and all that stuff, it was like so serious. And I've never read it that way. I'm like, really? Really? So it was really serious the whole time. And then something I thought was very cool was that there's the stage, right? But then simultaneously, sometimes they would have a camera somewhere else, like either backstage or on the roof or somewhere, filming a different character in real time. So you could see two different things at once. You could see sometimes two different people at what should be the same time. So from different perspectives, that was cool. But then again, there was this one scene where Juliet is looking in a mirror and you see like her face, but also her face in the mirror, and she's just like looking in the mirror. And it was just so serious. I'm like, why is it so serious the whole time? Like, I know it's Romeo and Juliet, but it's not that serious. And a lot of things were not acted out. So at the end, obviously, you know, when they die, you know, Juliet's just sitting there and there's like, oh, dagger. She's not actually doing anything. She's not making any motion to kill herself. She's sitting there like, oh, dagger. What? And then both Romeo and Juliet took off their mics, and then they were just like, when they died, I'm like, what? And I fell asleep a little in the second half, not because of the show. I was really tired. I didn't get to sleep after my flight. But so I might have missed a little, but that was kind of how the show went. And then they brought in like some modern things in the way that both Romeo and Juliet were like celebrating their respective parties, and they were like, yeah, like that kind of stuff. And I just didn't really think it fit. Now, do I think the actors and actresses are good actors and actresses? I think this is a fault of the direction. Which this was supposed to be, you know, Jamie Lloyd's big woohoo. It was like, oh, a once in a lifetime production. Please. Something out at my show in particular, there was like a fly going around in the stage. I'm pretty sure this was not planned. And this is Tom Holland is standing there, and then, but he's supposed to like start speaking, but his eyes just start following the fly, and we all laughed. It was funny. That was a nice moment. But otherwise, Romeo and Juliet is my favorite play, and I was not impressed. I wasn't feeling it. It kind of makes me want to see the Romeo and Juliet with Rachel Zegler to see how it is. I think that's a musical, right? Anyway, so whatever. Basically, I was not impressed. As I was saying, one thing that I liked, when it was a different day, they would project like the word of which day it was. It would be like Monday, Tuesday. And that really made me change how I thought about it, because it emphasized the day of the week and how fast the story actually went. That, and the thing I was talking about the projection of like the real-time camera somewhere else. Like one time Romeo was on the roof. There was a time when Paris was with Juliet, and it was, I think it probably in the lobby of the theater, and it was like they were at like a party. That was cool. Those are the only two things that I thought the show had going for it. Everything else, it was lackluster. Something I was really impressed, the actress for Juliet, I believe her name's Francesca, if I'm saying that right. she really gave off to me like the youthfulness and youngness of Juliet. And I think it was how she was saying things, but I really appreciated that. I don't know, I don't remember if I can say the same for Tom Holland. I don't know, I don't remember. Anyway, whatever. So the show ends, whatever. Oh, also, there weren't really like exciting sets and stuff either, by the way. Anyway, we leave. I want to get some merch. And I'm in line. My card declines because I'm an American, and my sister was at the bathroom, so so my sister found me, and I'm like, my card declined. She gave me her card. She was a G. Her card declined too because she's an American. And I'm like, are you gonna close soon? And they're like, I think they said like in 5 or 10 minutes. And I'm like, oh my gosh. My aunt was outside waiting for us to walk back to the hotel, and I went to her and I was asking her if she could give me some British money. And I'm pretty sure one of the guys there said that it's all card. They don't accept cash. So my aunt gave me her card, and her card works. She was a G for that. I still have to pay her back. But I can show you the hat I got, the shirt I got. I'm washing, or maybe I just washed it. But this is the hat I got. It says R and J. My mother was clowning on my shirt a little bit ago. But anyway, no, I forgot. Let me tell you the exciting part. So then I got that. We leave. I heard everyone outside screaming when Tom Holland left, but I was figuring out my stuff in the merch line, so I couldn't see it. I just heard it. We go outside. I'm taking pictures because I didn't get pictures before when it was still light outside because I was almost late, whatever. And then my aunt is talking to like this guy that works there, and a couple times, and I don't know what's going on, and he asked somebody else if they had something, and he was like, no, and then whatever. So then my aunt pulled, but earlier the guy was like, oh, she has a surprise for you. I'm like, what the heck? So my aunt pulled something out. She only had one of them, and she was saying she was waiting to pull it out to see if she could get another. Somehow she's talking to this guy, and she got a card signed by Tom Holland. And I guess the guy, well, he knew it was for either me or my sister, but he didn't know that there were two of us. So he only gave my aunt one, and then they were all gone. So now me and my sister are gonna share it in our room. And that was super cool. That was really cool. And I think that's all I have to say. That was my experience and my review of the Tom Holland Romeo and Juliet. I get that people wanted to see it, to see Tom Holland. And that's not to be disrespectful to any of the other actors or actresses, but the tickets were pretty much sold out when only Tom Holland was announced as the cast. So just to be realistic, almost everybody was going for Tom Holland. He got the ticket sold out in like 2 hours. And that was, yeah. But I didn't really feel I didn't really feel it was that impressive. It was not impressive. But I can understand why people wanted to go there to see Tom Holland, because like singers, you can go to their concert, but he's an actor, and you know, you see their movies, you don't really get to see them in person. So that was my time. Yeah.